Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaisnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaisnava.
Hare Krishna. On this most auspicious day, I'd like to welcome everyone for joining us online. Thank you so much for being with us. During this time of the coronavirus, we noticed that most things are happening online. So even today, on this most auspicious appearance day of His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami, we are taking heed and celebrating online. We'd also like to welcome His Holiness Ram Govinda Swami. Thank you so much for being here today. It is described in the Vedic literatures that we stand only by the mercy of the saints, by the mercy of those great souls who have within their heart grasp of what is transcendental, of what is beyond material conception. It is described, Durga me pati me nidhasya shakalat patagater muhu swakripa yasti dhanena shantashtav avalambanam. My path is very difficult. My feet are slipping again and again. Therefore may the saints help me by granting me the stick of their mercy as my support. And today we come together in celebration of one such saint whose merciful stick of grace has been so many of our supporting grace throughout our lives, and we are so fortunate to have him here with us today at the Sri Sri Radharadhanath Temple of Understanding. So again, I welcome you all for joining us this warm morning in Durban, South Africa. And to begin, I hand you over to His Holiness Ram Govinda Swami to share some of his realizations and something from his heart. Hare Krishna.
Much.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chachunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Kadamba Swaminam Priti Namne. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Congratulations for this auspicious appearance day of Vyasa Puja, day of your Holiness. Just like talking about glories of His Holiness Kadamba Kansa Maharaj is just like for me showing the candlelight to the sun. Maharaj always extends the Vrajavasi actual Maharaj. Vrajavasi means the one who stays in the Vraja is not that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Vrajarasa Bhavana Nitya Shuddhamata Sadhana. Vrajavasi Artha means the one who always fully Krishna consciousness. Gopa Gopi means the one Gopyate Piyate Gopi, the one who always, all the saints think of Radha Krishna, he is the Vrajavasi. So for him, His Holiness, whether he is in Durban or any part of the world, for him, that is Vraj only. Because he always carry Radha, Radhanath, Radha Krishna, Radha Shyam Sundar within his heart wherever he goes. You can see when Maharaj sings Harinam Sankirtan, he is out of the world. Kirtan Mela, you can see when Maharaj sings, people start dancing. In Mayapur also, even the old people start dancing. Later they, oh, my legs are troubling me. So, because when you speak or when you sing the holy name of the Lord, completely absorbed in the thought of Radha Krishna, and whereby you are in the out of the bodily consciousness, that attracts everyone, because there is a pure chanting of the holy name. So Lord Maharaj is always situated in that. We all have to, we are blessed here to be present in front of him, to participate, to be part of these celebrations. For me, Maharaj is also like a Shiksha Guru, because when I was doing Bhakti Vaibhava, Maharaj taught me 5th canto of the Bhagavatam. Maharaj teaches Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava every year in Mayapur. I don't know whether Vrindavan Maharaj teaches, I don't have idea. But Mayapur every year, he teaches both the Bhakti Shastri and the Bhakti Vaibhava courses. So, and Maharaj has been in Vrindavan for decades, not 1 year, 2 years. It is said that my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Krishnadasa Maharaj used to say, just to get into the Vrindavan itself need lot of pious activity for many lifetimes. I myself tried to go to just Vrindavan more than 20 years. Yeah, more than 20 years. Since 1979 I was in Delhi. I went to Agra, but I could not go to. My aim was to go to Vrindavan, but instead of going to Vrindavan, I went to Agra. I never went to Vrindavan. Many times I tried. When I used to go from Botswana to India on end of contract to leave, I stayed in Delhi 2 months to go to Vrindavan. I never could go. Then my Guru Maharaj said, Maharaj, I am unable to go. No, you cannot go. Unless some Vaishnavas give you mercy, then only you can go. Then he permitted me. Then 2000, first time I went to Vrindavan. Whereas Maharaj has been there for decades, managing the Golok Vrindavan, Radha Shyam Sundar abode. So Maharaj, you can just imagine how fortunate. Just by taking association of such a great Vaishnavas, we have been serving Radha Krishna for so many decades. We all benefited. It said proper rights, just like in the winter season you are feeling cold, just by sitting outside in the sunlight, you feel the warmth. In the same way, when we sit near to the association of the Vaishnava, pure Vaishnavas, we get the spiritual energy, our spiritual life is also boosted. So I pray, I request, humbly pray Maharaj to bless me also, to continue this Krishna consciousness in the sannyasi lives. First time I met Maharaj after sannyasa, before also I met. In the airport I met. Maharaj said, sannyasi life is a very lonely life. I remember Maharaj. Very lonely life. So whenever you get the opportunity, sannyasis should take association of the other sannyasis also. Otherwise it becomes lonely life. So I pray Maharaj to give me blessing so that we can continue. I pray Radha Radhanath to give good health to Maharaj so that he can preach more and throughout the universe, world, so that all the devotees in ISKCON, especially, they can get the mercy of the Lord, benefit of Lord's transcendental loving service to Radha Krishna. Dear Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, His Holiness Ram Govinda Swami. I wanted to pick up on the point about Sri Vrindavan Dham. It is described that within the heart of the great soul, always is the Dham is carried no matter where they may journey. So in the heart of His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami, we have a piece of Sri Vrindavan Dham with us here today. So everyone, welcome to Vrindavan Dham. Haribol. Some wonderful devotees have sent some written offerings. So during the course of the program, we will be reading them out. So I'll call Rukmini, Her Grace Rukmini, who will be reading the offering from Sutapa Prabhu, who is from the United Kingdom. Hare Krishna.
Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We meditate on the spiritual master who is ever enthused and inspired in Krishna consciousness. From my observation, your entire life moves on inspiration. Your reading of Shastra is not just informational and analytical, but reflective and profound, continuously mining gems that deeply inspire you and inspire those you share with. Your presentation of Krishna consciousness is not staged and memorized, but fluid and spontaneous, bringing out personal realizations and delivering a genuine discourse based on what moves you. Your kirtans are not just musical and melodious, but a deep cry for Krishna, an outpouring of spiritual emotion that ushers us into Krishna's world. Your guidance is not only based on knowledge and experience, but divinely dictated. Through you we receive the messages of Krishna, perfectly illuminating the journey we need to take in life. Your unwavering dedication to sharing Krishna consciousness and helping others is not just a duty or vow, but fueled by genuine care and concern. Only an inspired person can embody such compassion by which they transcend material limitations and serve above and beyond what is humanly possible. Of all our possessions in life, our inspiration and enthusiasm are perhaps the most valuable. You are giving us that in abundance. How inspired you are. We stay close to you and pray that we become inspired as you are, just so we can render some small service to say thank you. I beg to remain your humble servant, Sutapa Das.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to welcome His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I was speaking to His Grace Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu earlier today, and he was describing how once His Holiness Indradumna Swami said that, you know, he sat up all night making this beautiful garland to offer to Maharaj, and then he brought it the next day and he handed it over. So in the same way, let us offer garlands of appreciation and love from within our heart, and we can give this offering to His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami from our heart to his heart. So I'd like to invite His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami to please speak to us all this morning. Hare Krishna.
Shoot the microphone, please. Sure. The microphone. Oh.
Yeah.
Just walked up all the stairs.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nera Vishesha Shunyavadi Pastya Chadeshtarne Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pramanityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasti Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyas cha kripa sindhubhyeva cha Patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Hare Krishna Kadamba Kanana Maharaj ki jai, definitely. Well, I'm very happy to be here, first of all. You know, there's a technical consideration that I joined the movement a few years before Maharaj. I'm not sure exactly how many, but maybe 4 or 5 or something. 77 was it, or? Yeah? So yeah, it's only 4 years, if that's what it was, 4 years. And there's slight difference in age, I don't know, a couple of years.
67
something.
today.
Huh?
67 now.
Oh, just 1 year. So look at that. So, you know, there's no real difference. Just there's a little technical thing there. But so I don't look on Maharaj so much as a so-called second generation devotee. He's one of us, the old guys, the old boys from Prabhupada's time. Yeah. And I've known Maharaj, not so, I mean, going back to when he was in Vrindavan. We knew each other not so well, but we knew each other there in Vrindavan. And Maharaj was temple president, a difficult service in one of the most difficult temples. And he paid a price for that. Sure. He paid a price. I remember actually Prahladananda Maharaj and I were sharing a room in the Gurukul. And one night, in the middle of the night, sometime I don't even know when, who should come in but Kadamba Kanana Maharaj, who, I don't know if I should even say it, had just been shot. Literally. Seriously. And he came and he roused Prahladananda Maharaj, who then helped out. And I just rolled over and went back to sleep, thinking, you know, what? This is a hallucination, right? This is a nightmare. It's not real. I'll just sleep through it, and it'll be gone. Tomorrow life will be back to normal. But it wasn't. But the thing is, like I said, Maharaj paid a price for serving there for some years, and it's such a wonderful place, but it's such a difficult place. And particularly our ISKCON temple is such a wonderful place, but such a difficult place, with all sorts of difficult devotees. Sure. So I really admired, and I do admire, how Maharaj applied himself to that service there at great risk, and even realized the risk of standing up for Prabhupada. We've got to stand up for Prabhupada and not be wishy-washy and not just be diplomatic and go with the flow whichever way it goes. We've got to stand up for Prabhupada and really try to serve him and serve his mission and see that things are done the way he would like them done. And I have always felt like that, and I do feel like that about Kadamba Kanana Maharaj. That he's a Prabhupada man, even though there's this little technical consideration of a couple of years or whatever it may be, but it doesn't matter actually. It literally doesn't matter. But really what matters is the heart. And I see that Maharaj has the heart. Prabhupada would say, the heart of a British soldier and a Bengali mother. Something like that. It's a combination, special type of heart. Very strong like a British soldier, but very soft and very nice and devotional like a Bengali mother. So I appreciated Maharaj at that time and what he did, what he went through for Prabhupada. It's truly inconceivable actually. And now he carries on. And of course, Maharaj's spiritual master is Jayadvaita Maharaj. So in that technical sense, Maharaj is second generation. But we see, I know all the devotees who are second generation gurus. And basically all of them are just first class. Basically, there's not many, but those who there are, they're really first class devotees. So Maharaj is the oldest of them now. And when I see this in the sort of technical second generation, then I feel, Prabhupada's movement in terms of the gurus and giving that type of leadership which gurus should give, I see that the second generation gurus, they're doing that, and amongst them definitely the Kadamba Kanana Maharaj is the best. He's in a special category of his own. We were sitting here in the class, I think must have been the last class Maharaj gave like 3-4 days ago, right here. And Maharaj was quoting verses and shlokas and Sanskrit, verses I didn't know. And I thought, wow, that's good. That's really good. And illustrating the philosophy of Krishna consciousness so nicely. It was just wonderful. So I came out of that class feeling great. Just feeling inspired and excited and confident that Prabhupada's movement is in good hands. And that the parampara is going on. The parampara is going on. This is how it's meant to work, according to scripture and philosophy. It's meant to work like this, and it is working. And Kadamba Kanana Maharaj is just such an excellent example of how the parampara is working, going from generation to generation. But everything's as it is. everything's as it is, but everything is at the same time not just technically correct, but everything is, sort of like imbued with the transcendental potency which should be there in parampara. Not just, of course, things have to be technically correct. That's definitely a fact. But there has to be the transcendental potency which comes from serious practice, serious determination, and real dedication on the level of the heart to the parampara, and in our cases to Srila Prabhupada. So I appreciate Maharaj so much for all of that, and I appreciate and I respect that greatly. And it all gives me great confidence, like I said, that things are going in the right direction. You know, we should be doing this at the Ratha Yatra, actually. Anyway, that's another story. Let's not get into that. Next year, we'll do it at the Ratha Yatra. Yes. I remember a few years ago, actually, I don't know, but a few years ago, I didn't know when Maharaj's Vyasa Puja Day was, but we were at the festival, and Govinda Maharaj was there. And Govinda Maharaj came, there was a few of us there, I forget who, but I was there and a few others. And Maharaj said, "Hey, you know what? It's Kadamba Kanana Maharaj's Vyasa Puja. It was in the evening. Let's go over there." Yeah, let's get into it. And that was nice to see also, because he's another Prabhupada disciple, very senior and dedicated devotee, and so much appreciation. So thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much for being who you are and what you are. And I pray to have your association for a long, long time. And actually eternally. Yeah. We're all in this together forever. And I'm really happy about that. So please be nice to me, give me your association. Understand, you know, I'm an old man and life is not as easy as it was. So be tolerant, but please give me your association and just carry on the way you are. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Kadamba Kanana Maharaj ki, Go Premanande.
His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj ki. Thank you so much, Maharaj, and thank you for joining us this morning. Picking up from what Maharaj said, we are all in this together eternally, so we look forward to that eternality, all under the shelter of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and the most glorious lordships, Sri Sri Radha, Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are also very fortunate this morning to have with us His Grace Ramanuja Acharya Prabhu. So it gives me great pleasure to ask Prabhu to share a few words with us this morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I actually went to Wikipedia and looked up Kadamba Kanana Maharaj, Swami,
It's not so good.
and there they had a connection to a documentary in German about Maharaj. And Maharaj is really good at speaking German. And I was just thinking how qualified he is, because he also speaks many other Indian and European languages. And we're so fortunate that he's come here to inspire us and give us association and leadership. He's a very great soul. He's a very powerful leader, very inspiring. And we're very thankful that he's come, and he's very humble, but at the same time he's great. Prabhupada said that a great personality does not demand respect, but he commands respect. So Maharaj commands our respect because he's so qualified. And we thank you for coming to South Africa and giving us your association. And I'm sure you're in big demand in other places in the world too, but we're very fortunate that you've come here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ramanuja Prabhu. I truly appreciate it.
He's a good friend of mine. Who gets this next?
His Grace Ramanuja Acharya Prabhu ki. Next, we'd like to invite His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu to share some of his realizations with us.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj. I think I first encountered Maharaj Bombay, Juhu. Somewhere mid-90s, I was this younger version, full of energy, running around as an assistant of His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, who was one of the GBCs there, and Kadamba Kanana Maharaj would just every now and then come for, I don't know, some meetings and things like that, collections maybe, some things to Bombay. But I distinctly remember the first time was at Mangalarati. And Kadamba Kanana Das at that time, I can't remember whether he was in saffron already or still wearing white, but he led Mangalarati. And it was like, wow, who's this? It was one of those head-turner, first word coming out like, what is this voice? It's so amazing. It's just penetrating in such a powerful way. And you know, young brahmachari, I mean, I guess it shouldn't be like that, but then we had that sort of a mood, I had that sort of a mood of wanting to be a little, in the institutional sense, upwardly mobile in the institution. Now you're just a brahmachari, you know, an assistant, that you can become this and you can become, I'd like to be like that. That's something to reach out for. Somebody who can sing like that, can speak like that, has a presence like that. It was very, very attractive. But soon after that, I realized it's not something that you can attain or develop just by maneuvering or by some material sort of arrangements. It doesn't work like that. You have to be blessed by the devotees, blessed by Lord Chaitanya. And very soon after that, especially seeing Maharaj back here, when I got back here and interacting with Maharaj, I think when I returned to South Africa, Maharaj was also maybe coming around that time, 98, 7 or something like that, or earlier maybe.
95.
95. So it was just, I came back afterwards. And seeing him closer, I realized he's really been blessed. Of course, blessed with some price that he had to pay also in Vrindavan, but he was so blessed by Lord Chaitanya. It was like that experience in Vrindavan, I just thought it was like just a stepping stone that opened the door for the whole world to also experience the blessings that Maharaj has gotten from Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada, all his great and exalted gurus and the devotees. So I'm very, very, very grateful that even though I may have had that sort of aspiration, seeing him up close and interacting with him made it very clear. We need grace, we need mercy to stay in the movement, to advance in the movement, and make a contribution to the service of Srila Prabhupada. Today, 12th of April, is my elder brother's birthday also. And you know, he's been very kind to me over the years. He's helped me in many ways and things like that. But I also feel it's also my real elder brother's, very, very much elder brother's birthday also. Because Maharaj also has played an interesting role in my spiritual life in terms of my service here in South Africa, and just encouraging me, protecting with me, debating with me, sarcastically calling me out in some ways when he sees I'm just overdoing something or not doing something right or just being too over the top on something, just like a real caring elder brother would do. So thank you, Maharaj, for your presence in my life and your contribution. Sorry that I get too emotional sometimes. But elder brothers are meant to deal with that, I guess. Taking something from what His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj said earlier about, you know, he's not really a second generation devotee, he's one of that other generation, the early generation. But still, he has this very unique position where Maharaj he's sort of somehow placed there where he can relate in all these ways. And like personally, I don't know how it works, how it happens, it's sort of mystical. I will relate to him in the situation like he's a Prabhupada disciple, a spiritual master, but then somehow the whole atmosphere can change and I can just be very revealing to him and just say things like as if he's there with you, like in your generation. So I think it's just an amazing arrangement of Srila Prabhupada in this movement to have that type of personality like Kadamba, Kanana, Maharaj. And there are a few others, but very few, that have that ability to relate with all these levels of devotees in a very easy way. Not in a whimsical, not in a relative type of way, but in a very real, but very natural way. So Maharaj, I hope we can always have your association. I'm so grateful. I'm not sure if you see it that way, but I'm so grateful that you are here in Durban during the lockdown. It's so nice that you are here, that His Holiness Ram Govinda Maharaj is here, that Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj is here. It's so wonderful. And you know, when I was on Sunday, like 2 minutes into the talk at 8 o'clock or 8:15, whenever the president came on, I was thinking, please extend the lockdown. Please extend the lockdown. You know, then he won't have to leave. They won't get like, okay, now we got to go here. Now we got to go there. Because yeah, we really feel nourished in y'all's association. So thank you, and I wish you well today. I wish you well tomorrow. I wish you well every day. And yeah, please continue to look over me and, you know, okay, stop now, okay, go now. I look forward to that. Thank you. His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj Ki. Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Thank you so much, Swarup Damodar Prabhu. And just picking up on the point that he made, that Maharaj has this most amazing ability to connect to people. You know, you always describe that people are individuals and we need to connect to them on a very deep and personal level. And I always look to Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita, where he speaks the principle of Pandita Samadarshana, seeing with equal vision the elephant, the dog eater, and the Brahmana. So we're very fortunate to be under the shelter of your vision, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Next, we'd like to call His Grace Ram Vijay Prabhu to please speak to us.
Oh, it's too hot. It's not meant for such long. Om Jnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I'm very grateful to get this opportunity. Thank you, Maharaj. for giving us this opportunity, and the organizers. Yeah, I hate speaking after Swami Damodar Prabhu. Actually, it is not a very nice thing. Firstly, he takes all the things I was going to say and he puts it even better. So, but anyway, I was just I was listening to the devotees speak before. It's really, really wonderful to have you in our lives, Maharaj. Especially in my case, the way you're taking care of my family members and so many other devotees here. And it's really inspiring when you see devotees being nourished and progressing in their spiritual lives. And I see how you really get involved in their lives and you really help them. So it's really inspiring for me to see that. And then also this unique energy, Maharaj, you have, which I'm sure everyone knows about in your kirtans, your presentation of Krishna consciousness. Your insights just amaze me. And I also know that you don't even know the verse before you speak in Bhagavatam. I got quite surprised when I heard that a few years ago, that you just come there and you find out the verse at the time of the class. I think, is that possible? But I've seen that a number of occasions, how you do that. This is just truly amazing. And then you offer so much of deep insight. And you are just so in touch with what people are experiencing nowadays, and you know how to give us the application, how to apply Krishna consciousness in that, or present it to us so that we can apply it in this context, which is quite unique, actually, Maharaj, because the Bhagavatam presents things in a certain way, which may be quite difficult for us to understand and apply. And really, you're really gifted in the way you can apply it. I always thought of you as the cool Swami. You say bouncing around, floating around, chilling with us. You really can connect, at least with the second generation devotees, very nicely, as Swami Damodar Prabhu was saying, and we really, really appreciate that. Acting as our big brother, as our guide. I mean, there's not many senior devotees we could debate with. We really debate things like Swami Damodar. I witnessed one the other day. It was interesting to see how the points come out. It's really, really nice because we work out, like you get such deep insight by watching those kind of interactions rather than the formal question and answer kind of thing we typically do. So it was really nice that you offer that kind of, you offer so much of your energy and time. And thank you very much, Maharaj, and also for me, guiding me, offering me your time, allowing me to do some things which I don't think I'm supposed to be able to allow to do, and even listen to my perspective on things when I don't think you should have to that. But I really appreciate that. And thank you very much. I also feel very lucky that you are here in Durban during the lockdown, and I'm also here in Durban during the lockdown to be with you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ram Vijay Prabhu. Next, we'll ask His Grace Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu to please share his realizations with us, and he'll be also reading a message from His Grace Govardhan Prabhu.
This is from Govardhan Prabhu. Dear Kadamba Kanana Swami, please accept my humble obeisances on this occasion of your Vyasa puja. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. As parolees in the material world, we are always hankering after and looking for the shelter of the Lord's special servants to free us from the grip of the Lord's deluding energy. In your company, we get to water the seeds of devotion. Your kirtans and blissful association endears you and makes you Vishnu Jan Priya, beloved of the devotees of the Lord. Like an actor is aware of his real life outside the theatre, the devotee is aware of his real life outside this body. But to keep that faith and to stay determined until our last breath, we need a role model for devotional service. Maharaj, you are the one such role model, and I draw strength and inspiration from you. I value your friendship and look forward to many years of service together. Wishing you a blissful Vyasa Puja, your servant Govardhan Das. So just a note that Govardhan Prabhu is also the co-GBC for South Africa. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. The spiritual master is the last personality standing between devotional service and a disciple's desire to go back to fulfill one's material desires. When all other options to remain in devotional service have been explored and fail, it is the spiritual master who is the last resort for the disciple to remain in devotional service. Just as right now, our weight is resting on the fine marble floor, and we are dependent on it. Although we don't think of it, we are thankful for the floor. Similarly, the disciple is dependent on the spiritual master and the resting on the life and teachings of the spiritual master. Many of us are coming into this institution at so little understanding with the relationship with the Dham, the Acha Vigraha, the Bhagavatam, and the Nam. Many times over Rath Yatra, when the program director introduces you, you are quick to correct that no, I am not from Amsterdam, but I am from Vrindavan. We all know that you are the strictest of following a diet. Moreover, said, sometimes you would die if you have to follow this diet of eating the same thing every day. But when Mahaprasadam arrives from Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir, you are quick to throw the diet out for some mercy and connection to your deity. Not only do you waste a moment, whether waiting in the doctor's rooms or driving, but you also connect again to the book Bhagavata. Also, it comes out in almost every class that you say, dive deeper into the Bhagavatam. Not only sing deeper, but at least make a sincere effort to read the Bhagavata. You may search for Krishna in the Vedas, but only through a pure devotee may you see Krishna face to face. Srila Prabhupada. With the holy name, I've heard you say 1 minute before the program begins that, oh, I'm finished. But once the fingers squeeze the harmonium, you then begin exhibiting how much love you have for Krishna's names with so much of energy. When we drive back, you say again, I am finished. Without glorifying Krishna, one's life becomes nonsense. Srila Prabhupada. I sit here every day, every year, mesmerized by the personality sitting in front of me, who just seems to have jumped out of the book Chaitanya Chandra Doya Natak, who is living and breathing the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya every day and infecting more and more devotees to partake in Chaitanya's Leela. Musicians have for a long time used metronomes for centuries, and it is known that numerous composers use metronomes. Basically, a metronome is a device that keeps regular beats or ticks to help the musician keep the rhythm or tempo of a song. In the same way, you have been keeping your disciples ticking and ticking in the rhythm of Krishna's devotional service. All glories to you on your Vyasa puja. All glories to your divine grace. Your servant, Vibhu Chaitanya Das. Srila Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj ki. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you so much, Viva Chaitanya Prabhu. Next, I will ask Satyarani to read an offering that has been sent through from the United Kingdom from Krishna Kirtan Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
So, Hare Krishna Maharaj. So, in behalf of
Tell them to speak in like this.
Krishna Kirtan Das from the UK.
As I can hear.
Closer? Okay. So please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to His Holiness Vyasa Swami, all glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, above and beyond. Lord Krishna wanted someone to have rasa with. Srimati Radharani makes Krishna even more happy than he can understand. Lord Chaitanya asked a Muslim man to chant the holy names. Srila Haridas Thakur chanted 300,000 holy names every day, even when presented by lust personified. Lord Vishnu promised his devotees, promised to protect his devotees. Lord Nrsingadev manifested a wonderful form to fulfill this order, yet honor the words of his servant Brahmaji. Radhakund Vasis requested Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to share information and pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Dev from the observations of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and he created the jewel of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita at the age of 90 with crippled hands and eyes. Srila Lokanath Goswami humbly vowed to never have disciples. Srila Narottam Das Thakur would daily clean his toilet area in order for menial service. He later stole the heart of Sri Chaitanya by his deeply profound poems and preaching. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was asked to continue the work of his illustrious father Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He spread the cult of Sri Chaitanya across all corners of India in mass. Later, he instructed the young Gandhi follower to print books of Krishna consciousness in English and share them. Later, this Abhay became His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, who traveled the globe 14 times in 12 years from the age of 70. Installed over 100 temples and inspired over 10,000 disciples and distributed millions of transcendental books. Srila Prabhupada wanted books printed and distributed urgently. A talented New Yorker, now Srila Jayadvaita Swami, helped deliver the impossible task of producing and publishing 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita within 2 months. No sleep, just prayerful, relentless hard work. 40 years later, still editing for the same master. The heir to a multi-million-dollar industrial firm was promised riches and security, but he saw past the temporary pleasures and illusion. He saw peace and kindness within his grandmother. Inspired by a sense of adventure and independence, a spiritual seeker journeyed to the land of bhakti. Kadamba Kanana Swami was born. Your masters have asked much of you from you, knowing that you would be a capable, talented man, restaurant manager, holding up altars with, whilst Bigfoot Brahmananda has a break on you. Temple commander Sankirtan in freezing ice with Mr. Bhakta Jai Nectar Bliss. Head of construction in Mayapur, president of ISKCON Vrindavan, sannyasi, guru, and extensive traveler. You are even asked to raise the roof every night with an explosion kirtan. Let us now reflect on your Vyasa puja, how you, like the other illustrious divine personalities in the school of bhakti and saranagati, continuously out of labor of love, go above and beyond the instruction or need. Let the moment sink, mesmerizing. I once asked you in a darshan to accept me as your servant. Knowing my heart, you responded perfectly. Above and beyond my hopes and desires, I will always be your eternal father and friend. I fell flat on the floor along with my jaw. Your Guru Maharaj awarded you sannyas and said, we will now wave to each other from the plains in the sky. You just keep flying in the hope to catch a merciful glance of him from a window seat. Your travels are relentless. Your compassion is unbound. You attract the independent conditioned souls. They quickly lose their independence in you, being captured again and again by your steady example of kindness and determination to serve. On your birthday, I raise my hands and bow my head to you, O virtuous gentleman, O noble master. Let me go and above and beyond just chanting 16 inattentive rounds and 4 regulative principles. Let me catch a firm grip of the mercy rope emanating from the transcendental bus of Sri Panchatattva and meet Srila Prabhupada at the back door. By your prayer alone, he will accept and embrace me and pull me into the van en route to Krishna's eternal pastimes. Above and beyond, your service and surrender is limitless. Thank you. Captured by your love, your servant Krishna Kirtan Das.
Thank you so much. Actually, this phrase or this term of explosion kirtan was coined by His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami after Maharaj sang this most amazing kirtan at the new Jagannath Puri temple in ISKCON Phoenix. So, an explosion kirtan. So we'd now call Bhakta Michael to share some of his realizations. Bhakta Michael?
Is it true that it's also your birthday today? Huh? Yeah. So Bhakta Michael is doing a lot of service. And it's interesting that my aspiring disciple has the same birthday.
Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Prasthaya Bhuntaya Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Name Namaste Sasat Dev Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhuntaya Srimad Bhakti Kadamba Kanana Hare Krishna. I would like to share my realization with Maharaj. I met Maharaj 2019 in Escort. It was a festival of chariot. And I danced for the first time. I never danced in that day because of his ecstatic kirtan on chariot. And he was giving us a microphone to chant the whole name, and it was very inspiring. So, by time goes on, I have been listening to his lectures, kirtan, and is when I make a decision to be one of his inspiring disciples. So I wrote to Maharaj, and he asked me some questions, why I'm inspiring to him, and then I explained my reasons, and then he said, oh, when I come down to Deben, and then we'll talk. So he was down here 2019. He invited me to talk to him. I talked to him, and then he accepted me as his inspiring disciple. So I just have a short offering for his auspicious Vyasa puja. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your lotus feet. On this most auspicious day of your Vyasa puja, I would like to thank you for accepting me as your disciple. Since you have accepted me as your disciple, you always guide me through your classes, kirtan, and messages. I say thank you, my dearest Guru Maharaj. Thank you for always guide me and encourage me to serve in humble mood and to be fully engaged in devotional service. In conclusion, I would like to thank you for present here in Deben so that I can take your personal powerful association in this lockdown period and happily serve you. Once again, thank you for everything, my dearest Guru Maharaj. Please forgive me for any offenses during my services. Your inspiring disciple, Bhakta Michael. His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj ki.
Thank you so much, Bhakta Michael. Next, we would call His Grace Swarup Damodar Prabhu, who will read the offering from Gokulesh Prabhu, who is from Cape Town.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, all glories to you, Gurudev. Even these opening words are simply by the mercy of our spiritual grandfather, who wanted a society of devotees to relate with respect. What do I have that I can offer you? Therefore, this offering is my attempt to offer you my gratitude through what I have understood by your mercy, like offering the Ganga her own sacred water. Many people are searching for something to give their lives meaning, something that will give them a reason to tolerate the obvious suffering, to give them strength. Others walk a different path, embracing a hedonistic way of life, because they can't find such meaning. How can life have any meaning without identity and purpose? Both of these being inextricably entwined. We have adopted so many false aspects to formulate our identity, our gender, race, education, physical strength, culture, work, many such things. And we try to naturally derive purpose from this. Coming to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of the devotees, we learn that our true identity is Krishnara Nitya Das, and that our purpose is to be a blissful servant. We also learn how to engage in a process of purification to reveal this inherent nature. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. Still, having embraced so many material designations, it is often difficult for us. We still put our faith in so many unnecessary places. We are still not convinced that happiness can be found in the realization of our true nature. So we cling to our false identity with one hand and to the pursuit of our eternal identity with the other, tolerating this duality, living in limbo. But in your association, our faith grows, our strength and hope matures. Our experience is more tangible, and we start to adopt a new identity that will lead us to our eternal nature. This is a most profound gift, a most valuable jewel. We hear from you that we are in the Achyuta Gotra, the infallible line of Krishna. You show us by your service and example what it means to be in Srila Prabhupada's family. You encourage us to have special relationships of hearing and chanting with your disciples. Most recently, you are revealing to us what it means to be a Gaudiya Vaishnava, what it means to be in the line of such exalted acharyas. You give us an identity that we can hold on to so that we can leave the others behind, giving us a higher taste. How does one repay such a gift? My prayer is simply to develop the desire to come to the stage of being your servant. This is the only identity that is required, from which everything else will come. I long to one day be able to please you. I don't know how to thank you. Every time I hear from you, it awakens something in me. It clears some doubt. It satisfies a question. It pacifies my heart. It renews my strength. I hope to live fully in the auspicious world you have given us. Your aspiring servant, Gokulesh Das.
Thank you so much for Damodar Prabhu and Gokulesh Prabhu. I'd like to now call Gaurabhumi, who who will be reading the offering sent from Adikesha Prabhu, who resides in Sri Vrindavan Dham.
Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Jayadvaita Swami. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I recently came across this excerpt from purports in Srimad Bhagavatam, and I was reflecting upon it as we are now in a time in our movement where the disciples of Srila Prabhupada and senior leaders are having challenges with health due to age and other factors. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 28th Chapter, text 33 to 34. Quote, when disciples are grown up and are able to preach, the spiritual master should retire and sit down in a solitary place to write and execute Nirjan Bhajan. This means sitting silently in a solitary place and executing devotional service. The devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness now render service as preachers in various parts of the world. Now they can allow the spiritual master to retire from active preaching work. In the last stage of the spiritual master's life, the devotees of the spiritual master should take the preaching activities into their own hands. In this way, the spiritual master can sit down in a solitary place and render Nirjan Bhajan. When the spiritual master retires for Nirjan Bhajan, some of his advanced devotees follow him and engage in his personal service. Unquote. We see here that Srila Prabhupada writes about himself retiring from active preaching work and entering Nirjan Bhajan in a solitary place. But we see that things did not really happen that way. Instead, Srila Prabhupada preached till his last breath in Vrindavan, dictating purports into his dictaphone. The spirit of preaching on the battlefield is what Srila Prabhupada showed till the very end. In my very limited capacity, I may dare speculate and say that retirement from preaching activities and Nirjan Bhajan that Srila Prabhupada speaks about is referring to when he is no longer physically present and entered Samadhi. We see today that disciples of Srila Prabhupada who have been challenged with health issues and even death are following in his footsteps, continuing preaching. And I see in you, that spirit of Srila Prabhupada, how you are giving yourself to his mission for the pleasure of Sri Guru, Gauranga, and Krishna. Every time you faced a challenge, you came back stronger with full determination. The incident in Vrindavan in the 90s did not hold you back, and neither did the nasty tumor that attacked you in 2016. Such close experiences with death on the razor's edge can easily push one to say, it's time to retire and move to a holy place for solitary bhajan. Your mood of giving yourself selflessly for the service of the Lord and his devotees has really overwhelmed me. Nowadays, with social media and Facebook Live, I see you in New York on every visit, just tirelessly doing programs and preaching day in and day out despite health challenges. Over the years on our Kartik Vraj Parikram, I see how seriously you take it to serve all the devotees, to keep the entire group enlivened and making sure they have a powerful experience of the Holy Dham with your intense kirtan and dynamic lectures. And in between all of traveling and preaching are the management meetings and dealing personally with disciples, also going out of your way to personally fan the spark of bhakti for newcomers. You are the living example for me of full surrender of mind, body, and words for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. I would like to refer back to the excerpt from Srimad Bhagavatam, to the section that it mentions about after the retirement of the spiritual master, the devotees of the spiritual master should take up the preaching activities in their own hands. I am not a frontline preacher or leader, but I sometimes think that you set the bar quite high, and will we be able to carry the flag? It is a sensitive matter to speak about the physical absence of the spiritual master, but it is a reality we, your disciples, will someday face. We are blessed now to have your pure, inspiring presence. As Srila Prabhupada stressed that association with the spiritual master by Vani is more important, so I pray that I may become attached to your words, and bless me that I may be able to properly execute your instructions. I have disappointed you on several occasions, and I beg your forgiveness if I have mentioned anything improper here in this offering. Your fallen servant, Adi Keshava Das.
Thank you so much, Gaurabhumi. Next, I'd like to call Her Grace Rukmini Devi Dasi to please share her realizations with us.
Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Deep dark ignorance and blind I was born, the warming rays of knowledge and love you shone, opening my eyes and breathing life into dead senses. Unto you I offer my deepest obeisances. I invest in people. You told me this once, many years ago, but you've shown me how 100 times since. You act with impact, reaching for the heart. If you autograph a book, it's never just a Kadamba Kanana Swami signature. You meditate deeply on the person you're gifting and write words that will jump out and capture their hearts every time they happen to land on that page. Words that anyone can see, but that they will feel. You sat down with your harmonium and asked two teenage girls who didn't have much to offer in the way of service or anything else, playing the role of the jukebox Swami. You sang any melody or bhajan we requested. How can I serve you, you said. When you want to inspire someone, push them to rise above, you give the deepest and most sacred things to you. Helplessly indebted, what can they do but try to give in return more than they ever knew they had? It floors me. You invest in people. Slowly, very slowly, the penny drops in my consciousness. Through many lukewarm attempts to preach and cultivate, through failed circumstance, through the Vaishnavas that echo your words, I finally begin to see it's about investing in people. We don't need more buildings. We don't need new systems. Although all these things may help, it's about investing in people because Krishna consciousness spreads from person to person. While you're expert at conquering a person, you're also very hard to conquer. You walk away and you never look back. No saffron Swami wave framed by the doors of the airport check-in. It's not your style. You're anything but sentimental. It's easy to see that the duty and mood of a sannyasi is in the line of Lord Chaitanya is etched in your mind. But to that duty, you are fixed. You were ready to leave New York within an hour's notice, and as soon as this lockdown is lifted, you leave us in the same way, no doubt. And ultimately, when you do leave this world, it will be just like that. You'll walk away and never look back. I used to think that these two aspects of your nature were an interesting contradiction, but now I see that they are consequential. You conquer people, but you conquer them for Krishna. Therefore, you can walk away. Loving detachment. I find it so hard to do, to give and not expect anything in return. Guru Tattva is about stealing people's hearts and pulling them back to Krishna, you once told me. Sitting nonchalantly in the amphitheater one morning, you caught me off guard. One day I will go, you said, and then you all have to step up and you must become a rock of purity. My shoulders sank with the weight of your words, a rock of purity. Can't I just keep busy, too busy to admit that I'm afraid that I can't actually be Krishna conscious? I'm traversing this path of bhakti blindfolded. You lead me to the wells of the scripture, the holy name and devotional service and say, drink, drink deep. Some taste better to me than others, and there is the tendency that in between the slips I fall in a ditch or two. And all the while I'm leaning on the mountain of your faith, immovable, unshakable, fixed. While I'm staring at the mirror of self-reflection, you're always pointing to the door of devotional service. Get out there, invest in people. Your faith that all good will come from devotional service and everything else will come out in the wash, that faith is woven through my life. And what a life it is. What a life you have given me. Bless me so that I can become a rock of purity. Your daughter, Rukmini Devi Dasi.
Thank you so much, Rukmini. I'd like to now call Her Grace Ranga Mataji, who will be reading an offering sent by His Grace Uddhava Prabhu from Amsterdam. And Mataji also expressed that she'd like to share some of her realizations with us this morning.
To my dear Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Kanana Swami. All glories to His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Different and changing situations require a practical approach. You are the embodiment of this in your example, and simultaneously you are offering a way for us to serve you. You know and understand the importance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. This is evident in your life and in your actions. Even in the small details, you see an opportunity to engage in service. When the Mayapur Panchatattva deities were being cast, you donated gold, and that was used in the casting process. You mentioned later that this small contribution is your way of being an internal part of the mission. When the new temple in Mayapur will open, your small contribution will keep making a difference in the foreseeable future. And you try to make us understand how important the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are by working on your books and sharing your editing quest through live streams. The real challenge, however, is that we, as disciples, should understand and comprehend the importance of time and knowledge you are investing in us. Once we do, we can understand to make a difference and be useful in helping you with your mission. Yours, Uddhavadas. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Happy Vyasa Puja to you. I'd just like to share some thoughts and realizations. Firstly, Maharaj, when you start your kirtans, you just get me off and on my feet. I'm always dancing to your kirtans, and I love the way you actually do your kirtans. Very ecstatic. Next is your beautiful classes are beyond this world, and although you don't prepare, you so spontaneously just quote verses and deliver your realizations through your classes. I found that's amazing, because when we sit to give classes, we have to prepare and consult the different books and of authority. But Maharaj, it just comes spontaneously to you. Also, there's one incident I remember in 1996 for the Prabhupada Centennial. My sister baked a cake, a replica of the Prabhupada Samadhi. And later I came to know, like many years later, I came to know that actually that Samadhi you were involved in construction of the Prabhupada Samadhi. And I thought, wow, we just baked a simple cake. And although it was very beautiful, that this was for the Janmashtami 1996. Although it was very beautiful, but I thought, how much of work did it take to actually construct this building? And I know lots of hard work and your effort went into this, and Srila Prabhupada is very pleased by that. And also, Maharaj, thank you for the Nishingadev deity that you have given us. And I had the damn audacity to ask you for another, sorry, for my sister. And yes, it's on my altar now, and I'm worshiping him. Thank you so much. And we are always under your protection and Lord Nishingadev's protection. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Next, we would like to call Achyuta Gotra Prabhu to please share his realizations with us.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtai Bhutale Srimati Kadamba Kanana Swami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Gurudas Chadvaita Swami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tharine. My dear spiritual master, my dear father, my dear friend, my dear everything. It is described in the scripture that Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prashadipai Bhakti Lata Bija. That according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary systems and some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the kripa of devotional service. And with experience in my life after I met you, my dear master, I've been engaged in devotional service by your mercy. I cannot claim anything because without the spiritual master, the entity is lost. It's like a dog without a master. It'll wander on the streets without safety and direction. You have sheltered me and looked upon this soul with love and affection. Because by the affection of the father, a child can excel in anything in life. You have been that father to me. And I pray that whatever small service I do for you and Shri Radhanath is pleasing. Because if the spiritual master is pleased, the entity can go back to Krishna. As described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Nitya, Siddha Krishna Prema Shadya Kabunai, Shravanadi Shuddha Chite Karaye Udai. Pure love of Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of the living entities. It is not something that is gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, this love naturally awakens. That by hearing the spiritual master, one's pure love of Krishna is awakened. And by the potency of the spiritual master, the soul can do amazing things. As you once mentioned in the Chaupadi class, that when Srila Prabhupada was walking down the stairs and saw devotees dancing in a circle, His Holiness Trivikram Swami Maharaj mentioned that his spiritual master made him a diamond. And that's a potency of the Guru. The Guru can turn a lame man recite scripture and become a diamond by shining Krishna consciousness within and without. You have been a father that I never had, the master that the dog has been searching for, the Lord that the servant wants to worship. And Srila Prabhupada in the Chaitanya Charitamrita 19, Madhya Lila 19.152 purport describes that one who is faithful to his spiritual master gets the Bhakti Lata Bija. This Bhakti Lata Bija is received when one is initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. After receiving the spiritual master's mercy, one must repeat his instructions. This is called Shravana Kirtana, hearing and chanting. And meditation on the instructions of the spiritual master is the life and soul of the disciple. The spiritual master convinces the disciple about the glories of Lord Krishna. Yesterday when I was serving you lunch, you narrated the pastime of the swan in Srimati Lalita. That Srimati Lalita, acting as a guru, picks out a swan to deliver an urgent message to Krishna that he should immediately return to dissipate the burning fires of separation of Srimati Radharani. And you compared Lalita to our current gurus, who use various persuasive techniques and incentives Just as Srimati Lalita told the swan about the crystal beautiful swans on the top of Lord Krishna's palace to encourage devotees to take seriously to the spiritual path and should endeavor in serving Krishna by any means possible. Maharaj, you emphasized that in a similar vein, the spiritual master tries to turn crows into swans, but eventually the decision lies with the individual. And I am happy and humbled that you have sheltered me, though I don't deserve it. You are an embodiment of compassion and tolerance. You are always compassionate towards me and tolerating my misgivings to you. To say you can glorify the spiritual master to this end is not enough, because the glories of the spiritual master are unlimited. They are the manifestation of Krishna Bhakti in person. Just as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in the following prayer, Kripa bindu diakoro e dase trina peka atihina. Sakala sahayne bala diakoro nijamane spriha hina. O spiritual master, give to this servant just one drop of mercy. I am lower than a blade of grass. Give me all help. Give me strength. Let me be as you are, without desires or aspirations. May I not have any aspirations outside your wishes for me, as I am made of your blessings. May you please help me have your desires to always please the spiritual master by following the instructions and faithfully follow you. As His Holiness Ram Govinda Swami Maharaj will say in a class, be so transparent that Krishna will reside in a clean house of your heart. And I always use this line and ask myself, am I cleaning enough in my heart that Krishna will come? Am I strong enough to withhold the heavy wind on the oasis of the senses that want to enjoy the milk and feeds found in the desert of sense gratification? Am I strong enough to stand the heat of offenses to the holy name? Am I strong enough to cultivate the mood of my spiritual master, which is the love of the holy name? With these questions, you can advance only by the mercy of the spiritual master. Our spiritual advancement lies with serving the spiritual master life after life. As Srila Narottam Das Thakur prays to Srila Lokanath Das Goswami in his Guru Vandana prayer, Chakshu Dan Diloje Janme Janme Prabhu se, Divya Gyan Ride Prokashito, Prema Bhakti Yaha Hoite, Avidya Vinasha Jate, Vedekai Yahara Charito. You open my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. You are my Lord birth after birth. From you ecstatic prema emanates. By you ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of your character. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhana, Adhamma Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Haha Prabhu Korodhoya Dehomore Padachaya, Ebe Yash Kushuk Tribhuvana. My spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O my master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Then the last verse of the Guru Vandana reads as follows. Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Rideo Korea Akya, Satata Boshibo Prema Majye, Karmi Gyana Bhakti Hina, Ihake Koribo Bina, Narotama Eitad Vagaje. Making words of the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra one with my heart, I constantly float and swim in an ocean of pure love. I am different from the Karmis and Gyanis who have no devotion to Krishna. Narottam speaks the truth. And I pray my consciousness forever holds your feet. And my dear Master, I thank you for everything and everything you have done for this soul. You are a true master to a wild, lousy crow. May you always have the love of the holy name, and may Sri Nam Prabhu bless you eternally with all your wishes to please His Holiness Jadvaita Swami Maharaj. Happy Shri Guru Vyasa Puja, you're ever aspiring to be your disciple, Achyuta Gotradas.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Achyuta Gotra. Next, I'll call Hari Priya Mataji, who will be reading the offering of Yadurani Dasi.
Welcome.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you, and I apologize for not listening to your instructions of being disinvited.
I'm sorry too. I was joking.
My dear spiritual father, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Sri Sri Radha Radhanath, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Giriraj Govardhan. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Jayadvaita Maharaj. All glories to you. How kind and thoughtful is Krishna. Even after falling away from him, he sends us the entire spiritual world in the form of this magnificent movement through his mercy agent, Srila Prabhupada. How amazing and powerful is Srila Prabhupada, not only giving us the spiritual world in the form of kirtans, prasad, books, deities, temples, but he made pure devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And how amazing are those pure followers of Srila Prabhupada, to selflessly serve with every breath of life, the mission to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, and conquer hearts with devotional service. Thank you, Maharaj, for being that dedicated follower of Srila Prabhupada, unwavering and full of commitment. Guru means heavy, you said. Why? Because he is firmly fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna, and no one can move him from that position, and that is my spiritual master. You are deeply committed in whatever you do, whether it's leading a kirtan, and you often say, okay, just 5 minutes, and then it would go on for hours. Attached to the holy names, it takes over you and you run on pure transcendental energy. Or whether you are presenting the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, you have the ability to bring home this transcendental knowledge to whoever hears it. Or whether you are interacting not just with disciples, but everybody that you meet. You build a genuine relationship of trust and friendship with them. Thank you for capturing my heart 18 years ago, teaching me to build a solid foundation of hearing and chanting, and at times when I broke it, you saved me from so many unwanted situations. Thank you for always being my father. My degraded consciousness forgets at times how fortunate I am to have your eternal shelter. You pick me up again and again from my fallen state. Your words are my constant companion and will always penetrate through my ignorance and remind me of my real purpose in life. You remind me again and again that spiritual life is not all about pakoras and milk sweets. It's about real endeavors and sacrifices in service. And at that example of real endeavor and sacrifice, I see in you, Maharaj, always going out of your way to do what is needed for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for giving us everything and being the best example. Happy Vyasa Puja. Your Facebook and eternal daughter, Yadurani Devidasi.
Thank you so much, Haripriya Mataji and Yadurani. I'd now like to call Rani Devidasi, who will read her offering.
Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please
Try to hold it like that.
Please kindly accept my humble obeisance. All glories to you on your Vyasa Puja. Each year, the Vyasa Puja of the spiritual master encourages the disciple to appreciate a particular quality or characteristic of the spiritual master. So over the past few months, it's come to mind that the disciple lives in the benefit of the sacrifice of the spiritual master. But this sacrifice is not for self-benefit. Rather, it is an expression of deep care to not simply alleviate anxiety, but to give the greatest joy. Oftentimes, out of my immaturity, I'm not able to deeply appreciate the degree to which your generosity is giving protection, shelter, and strength. With the opportunity to present within my limited capacity the seemingly basic principles of bhakti to university students, I've encountered the reality that one is so heavily reliant on the spiritual master. When we're actively engaged in sharing through any medium, whatever our capacity may be, then we're able to actually more deeply appreciate that the spiritual master is giving transformative knowledge. Independently, we're unable to make presentations because we realize our deep dependence on the spiritual master. Dependence on guidance in maintaining the purity of knowledge and rising to the standard of appreciable qualities of saintly character. To somehow or other offer the gift of knowledge to others seems to be the means by which we ourselves gradually become devotees, because then we are so exposed for all our shortcomings. Then we turn to the character and knowledge gifted by the spiritual master. In the process of attempting to share, we also start to realize how much our own spiritual master has done for us and how he wholeheartedly gives himself. So in this way, I've come closer to some degree in appreciating these qualities in you, that of selfless sacrifice, generosity, and impeccable faithfulness to the principles of bhakti presented by Srila Prabhupada. At the times when service is not possible because of physical limitations, I realize how shallow I really am in my practice, and that the spiritual master's character is offering practical guidance on how to develop naturally within devotional service, not in a going through the motions way, but in such a way that our hearts will become deeply enriched in time, so that when we encounter our limitations, still our devotional meditation can develop and remain unbroken. Your very character openly displays this continuity and is a source of guidance for us. Perhaps it may be that it is a reflection of your deep absorption, and maybe your incredible service is like a mirror reflecting your profound appreciation for your spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. As more time passes, the more I realize how far I am from becoming a devotee, and whatever attempts I've made in service is quite insignificant. But still, you've always affectionately guided me as a spiritual father. Simply trying to please you has become the very essence of my life. At so many times, you've been a teacher, a father, a friend, a well-wisher, and a spiritual master. You create time to listen to us and guide us. To see the care you have for your other disciples helps me appreciate your fatherly nature. So although I fall short in so many ways, and I'm certainly far from being a first-class disciple, still I am bound to you by your deep care and generosity. Although it is not possible to fully appreciate and know the full activities of the spiritual master, still I am so very grateful to have you as my spiritual master and to be your disciple. I offer my repeated obeisances, and I pray that somehow I may do some useful service.
Thank you so much, Satyarani. I would now like to read my offering to Maharaj. To my dearest Kadamba Kanana Swami. The drums of the Sankirtan movement resonate. Mercy, mercy, mercy. The storefront of love of Godhead has opened its doors. Mercy that cannot be contained, overflowing, breaking through at its seams, so to speak. Arms raised to the sky, he who is most benevolent unlocked the storefront of love of Godhead, Lord Nityananda Ram. The drums of the Sankirtan movement resonate, mercy, mercy, mercy. Boundaryless, unconditional, unrivaled, ever increasing, are but a few meek words of description. Even a moment of connection can lift a soul from the abyss of nescience to the marketplace of grace, a realm of transcendence in which every step is an ever-flowing dance, every word a joyful song, every day a festival of exuberance. How supremely wonderful! The drums of the Sankirtan movement resonate, mercy, mercy, mercy. This most graceful Lord has come with his transcendental agents, agents empowered, mission charted. The drums of the Sankirtan movement resonate, mercy, mercy, mercy. You, dear Maharaj, are one such agent, an agent of benevolence, carefully dedicated to passing on the overflowing storefront, connecting even monkey devotees like myself to the mercy of the holy name. The drums of the Sankirtan movement resonate, mercy. Another year has come and gone. Standing I am only by your resonating mercy. Dear spiritual father, when the munificent golden avatar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, journeyed to Sri Vrindavan Dham via the lush lands of Jharkhand, he revealed elements of mercy, unconditional to all living entities. In his journey, there stood a tiger, mighty and hungry, with sharp teeth like that of a razor's edge. On the other side, a deer, gentle, streamlined, vulnerable, a perfect predator-prey relation, one might allude. Instead, something glorious took place. The Lord of mercy induced these creatures to chant the holy name and dance together to the sacred sound vibration of the resonating mercy of Krishna. It is described that the Lord and his dearmost devotee are one and the same in quality. In the same way, Srila Prabhupada resonated mercy. You, dear Maharaj, are a player of this resonating mercy of the Sankirtan movement, carrying the message of the Vedanta, taking it to the fallen conditioned souls like myself. Hope is nurtured. Just like the expert mother bird who painstakingly searches for food for her young, chewing it, making it palatable before feeding her young, in the same way you delve deep into the magic of this process, bringing out the shining gems of spirituality, resonating it in a palatable way, whereby you give it to all of us. Thank you so much. Recently, it was the most glorious appearance day of Lord Ramachandra, the Lord of Dharma. It is described that after Lord Ram journeyed to Lanka to find Sita, when he returned to Lord Ramachandra, he immediately said, "Found Sita I." It is very interesting to note that he said, "Found Sita I." Easily he could have said, "I found Sita," but the I would have come before the service. So just as Hanuman always put his devotional service first and the service to Lord Ramachandra first, you, dear Maharaj, hold this transcendental message of the holy name, his devotees, and everyone at large before yourself without any selfish desires. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai. So just like Hanuman, you carry unselfish love for Krishna, his devotees, and everybody for that in that regard. After an initiation lecture, you very expertly described that at the point of initiation, the soul is on the shore of the ocean of prem, and they are given a boat. You have been salvation for so many conditioned souls like me. Gently you stir me closer to the divine, gradually helping to carry the weight of the feet of the material more onto the spiritual leg. Oh dear Captain, you truly know the pulls of this material world and how it sways the soul to bow at its feet. In this understanding, you very mercifully push a raft in my direction, enabling even this monkey to keep afloat. Bit by bit, you uncover the ocean of prem and allow us to grasp even a little of that resonating mercy drum of the Sankirtan movement. Hare Krishna, your eternal servant, Jarikanda Sevaki Dasi. Hi. I'd now like to call Rukmini, who will be doing a presentation.
Hare Krishna. So, Jarikanda and I just put together something very quick. It's based on Maharaj's new book, Kirtaniya Sadahari, which I guess will be available to everybody after lockdown. And so this is like a sneak preview of what's to come.
You know, it's always said that in any situation it is good to save the best for last. We've reached the pièce de résistance, so to speak, the climax of the event, where we get to hear from His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami and gain his most transcendental wisdom on this most glorious process. I was listening to a lecture of His Holiness Radhanath Swami today, and he described that Hayagriva Prabhu had a dream in which Srila Prabhupada said that in which he was seeing Krishna relating Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and within that same dream he saw Srila Prabhupada relating Bhagavad Gita to him. So he immediately told Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, it is exactly the same if I speak and if Krishna speaks. So today we have the most sacred representative of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So from His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami, it is as though we are listening to the Lord Himself. So, Maharaj.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyanandana Salakya Shakshuran Minitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada would describe how sometimes in Mayapur, the Ganga in the rainy season is flooding its banks, and then the entire area goes underwater, and sometimes Mayapur is for like almost 2 months in a lockdown of water. Can you imagine? I spent actually 1 year in that flood, and it was quite an experience. We would have to swim from one building to another, and they were not the only ones swimming. There were cobras swimming also, to add some excitement. Some had rubber boats, whatever it was. And the pujaris were taking the water and just using it, filtering it through a cloth and bathing the deities in an abhishek on Radhastami. So I remember the flood in Mayapur vividly, and I also remember how Srila Prabhupada described that flood symbolizes the mercy of Lord Chaitanya flooding the entire world. And that mercy of Lord Chaitanya, somehow or other, has reached everywhere. That mercy came through the disciplic succession, through the 6 Goswamis, through Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Narottam Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and so on, up till the present day, present to Srila Prabhupada, and here we are. And somehow or other, that knowledge has touched the lives of so many people, and everything has changed. Suddenly, everything has become auspicious. Suddenly, we are walking on the blessed path. Somehow or other, even those who are touched only a little, they are blessed. I had the good fortune of staying in Vrindavan. There were prices of austerity to pay, undoubtedly. I had a lot of malaria in that holy land, and one year 12 times, and each take about 2 weeks to recover. So I was sick for half the year. So I'd lost a lot of weight. And they sent me to Australia. When I arrived in Melbourne, I found that the sparrows were twice as fat as they were in India. And I knew I had come to the right place. I knew I would be able to gain some weight over there. And of course, what I didn't realize right there and then was that not all the sparrows in Australia are that big, but it were particularly the sparrows living in the temple, because there was so much prasadam, so much mercy, that even the sparrows were just flooding in this transcendental mercy. Somehow or other, we have the good fortune of a human birth. It is rare. It is not often attained, but somehow or other we attained it, and therefore we are able to receive transcendental knowledge. And this transcendental knowledge can give us a clear understanding of what the goal of life is. And that goal of life should remain in the forefront at all times. Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj was generous and kindly glorifying my activities, although I'm not so deserving. Maharaj himself was saying he's now old, and they figured out I was 1 year younger, so I'm still young. He's the older one, so I'm the younger one. So he's old and I'm young. See? But that youth, right, in the material world, in youth, I came to Krishna consciousness, and I had lots of energy, and I used all that energy with a lot of enthusiasm to do many things. My focus was on doing things for Krishna, doing service. I tried to do a lot of service. In the course of doing service, I did step on a few toes here and there. I did elbow a few people out of the way, or knock them over. What shall I say? But these things were secondary to me, because the things that needed to be done in devotional service were the most important. But as time progressed, I was not only responsible for doing things in devotional service, I became responsible for people doing things in devotional service. And I looked after them, and and together with them I tried to get things done. As time moved along, the focus shifted more and more to people, and it became my service to look after people, right? Not even so much about them having to do this service or that service and getting some service done through them. No, now my service was just to look after people in general, and how they could, how I could help them to realize their full potential. Tamal Krishna Maharaj in that regards once said that it's the duty of a spiritual master to give his disciples a vision about their own life which is greater than what they would have come up with on their own, and then to help the disciples to realize that potential. So that was something I remembered instantly. As soon as he said it, I had memorized it. It was that potent and that pertinent. It summed up what I was supposed to be doing. Anyhow, from doing things for Krishna to looking after people who were doing things for Krishna to looking after people for Krishna, All these things come up in devotional service. And yeah, somehow or other, that mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offers us a golden opportunity. And if somehow or other we can take advantage in the service we do for this mission, and in our personal behavior, and in our dealings with the Vaishnavas, then surely we can go back to Godhead. As I said, in my youth, I was sometimes careless in dealings with others. But now I regret that. Now I realize that every Vaishnava is very precious, and that one relationship spoiled with one Vaishnava is one opportunity to receive mercy blocked. So I am now regretful for my careless dealings, and now I'm trying to be more careful and more appreciative in my dealings of Vaishnavas. So I appreciated how Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj in his maturity, how Ramanuja Acharya Prabhu in his maturity came and spoke kind words. I appreciate how Ram Govinda Maharaj, who is very dedicated in his service, how he came and spoke, and I appreciate the mercy that comes through the Vaishnavas. It is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I appreciate the chanting of 16 rounds. It is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that comes through these rounds. And that's a minimum. Better, I chant more. I appreciate whatever service I can do, whether I like that service or I don't like that service. Some services are nice, some services are not nice in itself. Right? Some things are not nice to do. Like I've had to go and fight court cases. I don't particularly enjoy that. It's not my thing. You know, it's an austerity. But when it is for Krishna, it all becomes a great source of bliss. So I welcome any service. Now there's a lot of commotion about the current world situation, and all I can say is the world situation is always changing, and the essence hasn't really changed. It hasn't changed at all. We still have the opportunity to do devotional service and take advantage of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's there under any circumstances, under any time. And that's how it is. Like I told my dear disciple, the temple president of Durban Temple, who recently broke his leg in quite a bad way and spent a whole month in the hospital. And I told him, I said, look, you know, we are getting older, and yes, you are the future leadership of this movement. And whether you have a leg or no leg, I couldn't care less, being my kind self. I couldn't care less. Oh, Krishna, the thing stops. You still have to lead this one. The phone couldn't handle that. It's edited that out. Was too much. Phone goes, this is too much. No, but the point is this, is that we don't know what the material world will bring us. good or bad, materially speaking. But it changes nothing. Every time that we go through a difficult situation, and in that difficult situation we take shelter of devotional service and of Prabhupada and Krishna, then it will make us stronger. Every time we go through a difficult situation, it will make us stronger. So in the end, actually, we come out better. Yes? And when it gets... So, I don't know. I don't know what year is ahead of us. I have no idea. If I think about it, it could have far-reaching consequences, this situation. Maybe not. Maybe it will just, after some time, calm down. But it could just have far-reaching consequences. But for us, nothing changes. Because still we would do the same thing. We would still take shelter of achar and prachar, of behaving according to the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and doing some service in his mission. And that's all. So our life is already auspicious. Our life, everything is already lined up. The material circumstances, they will do whatever they do. And there's only one thing. We should not get in the way of that mercy. Because the living entity has been given minute independence. And we can use that minute independence to somehow or other take shelter of this movement and partake in being a via media of this mercy and taking advantage of this mercy, or we can use our independence for a personal agenda which is going in another direction. Even if we do that, still we've been touched by the mercy. Still the mercy is there, and still it will act in our life. That's for sure. Even we cannot spoil it so easily. But still, we could help very much to just be an instrument of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And these are the thoughts in my life. I regret the mistakes that I have made over the years in being exemplary in behavior and exemplary in service. It's not so easy to be exemplary in both. But I'm thinking about it more these days, and I'm trying more to realize this. Now it is now my prayer is that somehow or other my life may inspire others to try the same, to behave according to the directions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to do something in their mission. And I'm saying to all of you, online or offline, wherever you are, the flow of mercy is never obstructed, whatever the situation is. We are now all in different places, locked down, but we're still together at Prabhupada's feet, still together at Krishna's feet. Now let us, at this time, take full advantage of this golden opportunity. And if we do so, then this human form of life is the perfect position to go back to Godhead. And that is my prayer. Let us all really try this life to go back to Godhead. And all right, there is some personal desire. Okay, let it be so. In this whole world, men and women are attracted to one another. It is sometimes said the entire material world is simply a backdrop for these dynamics. The dynamics of amorous pastimes. So, when we consider that, it is not surprising that we also feel we want our share, and that we take back a little bit of our energy from Krishna. That is okay, providing we do so according to the path that Krishna has given. That means the Grihastha ashram. Then there's an ashram that gives us shelter. And in that ashram, there are prescribed duties and prescribed activities. And in that ashram, we can carry on. And that means that we can express our material desires in this movement. We're not barred from doing so, but within what is authorized and not in a sinful way. So in this way, our movement is not a movement of oppressing material desires. It is a movement of either engaging them or overcoming them. There is some room for material desire, not for the sinful ones. Because whatever we do to express our human natures, let us not do anything that interferes with our going back to Godhead. These are like things I have thought about for long and that are with me on an ongoing basis. I'm always thinking, let me not be such a fool as to do things which would interfere with my going back to Godhead. Let me not be such a fool to do things that would interfere with my taking others back to Godhead. Let me therefore very carefully remain under the shelter of the mercy of Mahaprabhu, which comes down in parampara. And this counts for all of us. And if somehow or other, whatever our natures may be, whatever our situation may be, wherever we are locked down. Right now, with this lockdown time, everyone feels the pinch of some sort of jail experience. Right? We're trying to make the best of it, but we're all a little bit in jail. And you kind of feel it, right? Easter weekend in Durban, no Rath Yatra. We're in jail here, right? What's going? Nice jail, but in jail. Devotees are in Mayapur in jail. My disciple Harinamananda is in jail in a building, and every day he goes on the roof of the house and does Harinam, right? Because he cannot stop his service to the mission. He knows if he stops, then the flow might stop. No, he will not stop. So whatever it may be, wherever we are, in whatever situation and condition, let us somehow or other understand that not only now are we in lockdown, not only now are we in jail, we are always in jail, always in lockdown, as long as we are in the material world. As long as we are in these material bodies, it is the material body that is the jail cell in which we are right now. Sex life are the bars in that cell that keep us locked in. Right? And as long as we are pursuing these things in an adharmic way, we will remain locked in the material world, in a body, life after life. And now we have the opportunity to break that trend that has been going on and on. because we have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mercy of the Parampara, the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and therefore let us take full advantage. That is my humble request, and let us therefore always be eager for the mercy of Lord Chaitanya in whatever form it comes. Whether it's in the form of prasadam, whether it's in the form of books, whether it's in the form of devotee association, whether it's in the form of Rati Yatra, whether it's in the form of silently chanting japa. In whatever these forms are, let us all, somehow or other, take shelter of that mercy. I thank you very much for those who are online. I really wished I could have made it for a personal interaction. I missed you a lot, being present in person. I missed also our festival in Radhadesh, and I'm missing the King's Day and all the mercy that goes out. How every year in King's Day there are thousands of people dancing with us, right? There are millions of people, and at least thousands are dancing with us and chanting. They dance and chant the holy name. So in this way every year we see how the mercy is just being planted in the hearts of so many people, and this is wonderful. So I'm very happy that all of you are fixed in Krishna consciousness. I'm very happy that all of you are dedicated to this process. I'll do what I can to offer inspiration and strength on my side, and my prayer to you is that somehow or other, do it, somehow or other, take advantage of this opportunity, this life, this golden opportunity. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much for all being here, and it's not that many people that have come to the space. It's also not meant to be. There are no public gatherings at the moment, but online there are so many, and there's no difference. Our connection goes beyond distance, beyond time. Our connection is eternal and is here to stay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all of you.
His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj Ki. Thank you so much, Maharaj. We deeply appreciate the gems of spiritual wisdom that you so mercifully have given us today on this most auspicious day. His Grace Viva Chaitanya Prabhu just informed me that between Mayapur TV and Facebook Live, we have over 400 devotees that are with us at this most blessed event. And we thank all of you for joining us today at the Shri Shri Radharanath Temple of Understanding. And we are also very happy that Vyasa Puja is finally in the ISKCON Durban temple room. And we're praying that next year we all can come together in celebration of our most glorious spiritual master. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who has assisted in putting together this beautiful occasion. I'd like to thank Mothers Malika, Sukumari, Mother Radharanath, Mother Bhakti, Gaurabhumi for assisting with the prasadam. Jai Sachid Nandan Prabhu, thank you so much. And anyone who has helped in putting this event together. Especially we'd like to thank Maharaj for coming out and giving us his association. And the Vyasa Puja book will be available online soon, so stay tuned for that. And in parting, may we always grasp the stick of mercy of our dear most spiritual master, because that is our deepest support. We will now have Guru Puja, so you may notice that there's a table 2 meters away, and a basket or tray will be placed, so you can offer your flowers and place it onto the table and offer your reverence at a distance. Thank you so much. All glories to His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagati Satma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagati Sadma. Avadana Mate. Quando mohi savadana mate. Sahara prasade vai e bhavatori ayahai. Yahara prasade vai e bhavatori ayahai. Krishna prapti hoya hoite. Krishna prapti hoya hoite. Guru mukha padma vakya chitete koriya kya. Guru mukha padma vakya chitete koriya kya. Arana kori ho mane asha. Arana kori ho mane asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Rati
Gati Ese Utama Gati Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Chakshudan Dilo Jai Janme Janme Prabhu Se Chakshudan Dilo Jai Janme Janme Prabhu Se Divya Gyan de Prokasito Divya Gyan de Prokasito Prema Bhakti Aha Hoite Avidya Vinasa Jate Prema Bhakti Aha Hoite Avidya Vinasa Jate Vere Gaya Hara Charito Vere Gaya Hara Charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamachanara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamachanara Bandhu Lokenath Lokera Jivana Aha Prabhu Korodoyo Deho More Padachaya Evejas Kushuk Tribhuvana Shila Gurudev Patita Pavana Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Kadamba Kanana Swami Iti Namine What's the next one? Das. Who das? Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Guru Jayadvaita Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavari Vasatyare Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol.
Acharya Stotram Shri Shrimad His Divine Grace Srila Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj Ki Jayam Vishnupad Brahmamsa Pavigraj Acharya Stotram Shri Shrimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya BBT Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Brahmamsa Pavigraj Acharya Stotram Shri Shrimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Shri Guru Parampara Ki Telo Shiv Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Shri Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Tulsi Maharani Ki Auspicious Vyasa Puja Mahamotsava Srila Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj Ki Srila Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj Ki Nitai Go Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.